And this is why I will never be pro-black.
Gutta and Saved, check. Spiritually, I'm Christ-like. Lyrically, feel like money made on fight night. Me and Meek out slaying through it from fright night. Like my dad, I need stone pads when I write. Yeah.
Just recently, Dr. Charles Stanley passed away at the age of 90. And also, he was my pastor for many years when I attended First Baptist of Atlanta. Now, Dr. Charles Stanley was a very honorable and respectable man amongst almost every community. And yes, even the black community. That's why it angers me to see these fake woke, leftist Democrats try to slander his name after his death. This man served over 50 years in ministry without any controversy. And after he died, he ain't been dead 2 days. And these folk is coming up with some nonsense. Man, I tell you, I can't stand black people sometimes. Y'all check out what this dude tweeted. Charles Stanley was founder of the Christian Coalition, an organization sued for discrimination for prohibiting black employees for using the front door and eating with white employees, excluding them from sponsored events and denying them health insurance provided to whites. Now, whether any of that is true about Dr. Charles Stanley, Dr. Charles Stanley has been a very visible preacher in the last 50 years or so. And now y'all got something crazy to say about him after he dead. This man haven't even been dead a whole week. And now y'all trying to throw dirt on his name. Now, let's hypothetically say that all that stuff is true about Dr. Charles Stanley. I can assure you one thing. He repented. And y'all might say, well, how do you know he repented? Well, the reason why I believe Dr. Charles Stanley repented is because he preached his whole core message on repentance. In fact, one of his favorite quotes was, obey God and leave the consequences to him. See, listen here. We all have a past. And that's what y'all doing to Dr. Charles Stanley. If that's true about him, y'all are bringing up his past. And I'm sure if that is true, he wasn't fond about that past. And because you know the culture of those days. Now, I'm not giving him a pass. Again, if that is true, I'm not giving him a pass. But thank God for his grace, his mercy, and repentance. Like I said, I believe Dr. Charles Stanley repented, because that was his core message. Now, again, if that is true about Dr. Charles Stanley, his legacy and impact outweighs his personal transgressions he committed when he was a young minister. Now, again, I am not giving Dr. Charles Stanley a pass. You know what? He was a spiritual father, like a spiritual father to me. His sermons, his preaching impact my life in ways that I probably can't even put in words to explain. Now, none of us know whether it's true or not, because this stuff is just recent accusations. But I'll tell you one thing, how he started, if any of that is true, his legacy is evident. That's not how he ended. I salute Dr. Charles Stanley. Rest well.
Quick to forgive. A strong person is quick to forgive. You want to hinder yourself. You hold a grudge. You be unforgiving, and you say, well, what's that got to do with a strong life? I'll tell you what happens to. A person who has an unforgiving spirit, it will affect you ultimately. It will affect your very physical body. If you have an unforgiving spirit, you hold grudges, or you have a sense of hate. Those attitudes that affect the person, because you see, whatever affects your emotions affects your body, because you can't separate spirit and emotions and physical body. It all goes together. And it isn't just a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing to act that way, but it becomes a physical thing. What you think and how you feel makes all the difference in the world.